Hello everyone, welcome to this video on my channel. It's live stream, in fact. Italy 1, England 0. Is this the curse of Channel 4? Or are England just not that good? Well, I think it's mainly a case of add wiring in terms of how this result went down. A big up to the 203, it's now becoming 1. People viewing this, big up to anyone viewing it, in fact. For me, the issue, I think there was some good stuff there. Like Bellingham played very well. Declan Rice worked well alongside him. That should be the main two midfielders going forward. But Reece James, he's one of the issues. Wasted a big chance with the free kick. And then he also, what he did was, he just didn't live up to the things that people are praising him for. The deliveries in that can help people, that can create chances, the way he runs at people, what he does with the ball. I just think he stands around too much with the ball. And yeah, the goal itself, Kyle Walker could have done better, but he's better as a right back rather than right of the back three. The other issue for me is the substitutions. Well, at least the Jack Grealish one. The Luke Shaw one made a bit more sense because 20 minutes seemed to suit him in terms of getting back to the rhythm. But Jack Grealish, he should have come on earlier, I reckon. But even Grealish aside, generally the substitutions are just coming too late, like with 20 minutes to go. Hello, awesome Bia Ali. Shout out to you. But yeah, I think the issue just overall is, well, the issue I was about to say is the subs just aren't timed very well. In this case, and I'd say for the away game to England versus Hungary, there was no substitutions made until after England go 1-0 down. Also, whilst England took the ball forward on a number of occasions and something could happen, it felt like they were just letting someone else have the shot because they felt like they could do better at it. And well, a little bit of that. I mean, towards the end, you saw Rice having a go. Kane had a go from a bit out of position, but I'll get onto that in a sec. But it just feels like there was some good stuff, but there were also some bad stuff which hindered England's chances of getting a win. The other issue is Harry Kane was out of position on a number of times. He was seen out wide. He was seen defensive midfield. It's not the first time we've seen Harry Kane do this. But the thing is, when you've got other players that can do that for England, and he's the lone striker, then lead the line, and when there's a chance, get in the box. There was even a moment when Harry Kane had the ball and he was crossing it into the free play. I think it was the free players. There might be one other, but there were more creative players that were in the box waiting to tap it in, when Harry Kane should be one of the players doing that. Yeah, so as long as England on Monday can get a good performance against Germany and very strong, then I think the positivity can come back into the England dressing room and fans and build some optimism for the upcoming World Cup. I mentioned Reece James. he should not be playing. I said this back in June when Hungary played. Without Thomas Tuchel, he is the shadow of the player he is under Tuchel. Under Tuchel, he looks really good. Defense and attack. But under Lampard, he was overrated, but still did some stuff. And he's not been that good for England. On the bright side, the fact Kyle Walker went off, hopefully that means he's going to be playing against Germany. And hopefully that's right in a back four because we looked a bit better with that. I guess, whilst I would prefer 4-2-3-1, I would say that for this game, it sort of did make sense in the sense that Chilwell and Shaw, the better left backs, haven't had much game time, and therefore Saka, who had been playing left wing back in the past, played there. So it made a little bit of sense. But I think you could have done with changing it and being more proactive before A, Italy score, or B, if England had not waited until the 70th minute. AD says, do you want me to join? I'm probably not going to do it that long. I am doing it on YouTube, so I'm not too sure how I would incorporate a second person on in the same way as if I was doing this on StreamYard. You know what? I could do another StreamYard video. If you watch the game, then I could do another video this time on StreamYard, and we could look at that. But I think for this particular video, I'll just do it by myself. Yeah, like I said, there were some good stuff like in midfield, and there were players that should be there that could work well if all the components were fixed. But there's just some errors that are big enough to cost England results, and it's not looking good. Nowhere near as bad as England vs Hungary back in June, but it's not where we want to be. Relegated. If this means that England can get a good run of results and build some momentum back to League A and use that to challenge like they were back when the Nations League was first around, then great. But I'm sort of running out of things to say without me repeating. AD, I'll give you some time to give you your thoughts on this game, or just the result, or just maybe England in general. I suppose as for World Cup hopes, I still want to wait to see how England do against Germany, because that might be that'll be definitely a great estimation to how good England are, albeit Germany probably aren't going to be as good as they could have been if they'd beaten Hungary. But it's still a game where England have got something to prove ahead of the World Cup. No open goal players in this Nations League is worrying. Yeah, that is a great point. It's just a sort of thing that was missing in the home game against Italy. I guess you could also say that in the away game against Hungary. Germany, there were some good stuff going on in the second half. Neuer pulled off a great save, and England could have won it at the end. And then in this game, there were some chances, like the Bellingham header at the end, Rice's efforts, a few corners, and of course, Reece James rugby free kick, which could have had Kane, could have had Foden, even Eric Dyer scored from a close range free kick for England. But yeah, that is a huge point to mention. The fact that England have not scored in open play. Now, this shouldn't really affect what England do in the World Cup group because the opponents they play aren't on the same level as what England have played in the Nations League. But if it reduces the chances a little bit, then, well, I don't think England are going out, but it's certainly not going to bring the same kind of fire. So I'll just give a little preview. Well, maybe I might need to see the Germany versus Hungary game, and so yeah, that's pretty much the end. It's a disappointing result, a disappointing night, but I think we've got one more game to pretty much prove that England aren't completely on the decline, and who knows what odds it can mean. And despite it not being a relegation, England in the last Nations League had the disappointment in the penultimate game of not reaching where they wanted to be. But in the final game at Wembley, albeit it was against Iceland, England did finish very strong. But yeah, I'm going to end it there. And I just seem to be racking up some viewers. I'll give you until about 15 minutes. I'm going to start wrapping it up here because that's pretty much my basic thoughts and what went wrong. And yeah, I'll just sort of hang around if there's any other thoughts that's going to be put in place. And whilst we're at it, Hungary, huge surprise, having got 4 points against Germany, 6 against England, and a draw against Italy will take them into the Nations League semi-finals. And good luck to them if they do get there. If you've got any other thoughts on some of the other Nations League games, then do feel free to share. I'm just going to have a look at some of the tables after tonight. Let's see. Well, North Macedonia are guaranteed a place in the next round. Yeah, thanks, AD. I think where England are in their chances for the World Cup, I would put them. I'd have them going out to France, but I think they've still got a little bit more in them to beat Denmark and Spain. But then again, if England don't put their components together, then yeah, they could beat them. But it is a good question here from AD. Is Southgate the issue? A little bit. Is it the players or is it both? Oh, players-wise, I think it comes down to individuals. So it's Reece James, Mason Mount, although he didn't play today. I guess decision making can be on the players' hands, but that's something that they can make right in later games. I suppose it is a little bit of both. There wasn't. I couldn't really see any outrageously bad decisions by the officials, so they got nothing to do with it. But yeah, Well, that looks like a good point to end on. Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and even though it's a bad campaign, let's hope things end strong on Monday. See you guys.